two Meyer-Shank teammates there, Rosenquist and Armstrong, and the blue and white cars behind. They were side by side for a while, but it's single file as Colton Herta tries to catch back up after McLaughlin.
That's a big one. That's Nolan Siegel in the back.
Massive contact for the number 6 full course caution. You see the 12 of Will Power, a championship contender.
Awesome.
Wow, and that is race over for Siegel. That is rookie Louis Foster as well from the small town of Odium in the United Kingdom. And this guy's now pulled the entire track under a full course yellow. Pit lane is closed, but this could have huge permutations for those who have started on that softer tire and might want to get rid of it when that pit lane opens.
And this is such a treacherous part of the track, James. It's blind for the cars that are trailing behind Siegel.
And you see it almost starts with Joseph Newgard in that blue car. There was a bit of a gap there. He seemed a little slow out of turn 2, a queue behind him, and that accordion effect just got everybody bunched up. Maybe Siegel was a little bit slow. Power got into the back of him. Nothing Nolan did wrong there. Another car involved. Oh, that was Foster. Maybe Foster even got into the back of Power. We'll have to take a look at some onboards if we can to see where that all started.
It looked a little bit through turn 1 and 2 as though Scott Dixon was just a little offline, just a little slow. We're on board here with Pato. Oh no, we're on board, sorry.
That's for Siegel.
That's for Siegel.
Yeah, you could hear it. He just got drop kicked there. Nothing he could do.
Yeah, let's see if we get a better look. We're on board here with Will Power, I believe. No, that's not Will Power. He got wide. That was Kiffin Simpson in the Cha-Ching car in front.
Louis Foster has been checked and released. I know you were just looking at a replay. The rookie, you've been waiting so long for your first start and it's over. What did you see?
Yeah, I think it's happened quite a lot here previously. Turn 3 tends to be a bit of a hot spot. I was just following the trainer cars. I got through cleanly turn 1. I don't know if we're going to get a replay here or not, but to me it just seemed like everyone in front checked up. I checked up and then I got driven into from behind. Again, I need to see a replay and see exactly what happened, but yeah, just a bit of a passenger. Shame really, the 45 crew, they've done an amazing job so far. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, yeah, so one of those things, I guess. But yeah, the 45 crew's done an amazing job so far. You know, it was a shame. We really wanted to finish this race and get a good result for the team and get some experience for myself. But these things happen, so it is what it is. I'm fine. So yeah, we'll go get him a Barber.
Thanks, Louis.
But we're hearing about an event under review from the start.
Heard it might be Scott McLaughlin and Devlin DeFrancesco. Scott McLaughlin told me before the race he had a great car, but it looks like Devlin heavy into the side of McLaughlin, and then McLaughlin spinning. That's well before the the start flag.
Well before the start flag. Let's see, you're going to see the 30 of Devlin DeFrancesco up the inside, just sort of understeers into McLaughlin. They both get offline onto that dusty part. They both spin. The hybrid unit allows these drivers to restart themselves. That's why we didn't see any yellow flags there.
As McLaughlin is back underway, but let's take a listen to what he feels happened.
It's Devlin, man.
Winging everything okay?
Yeah, everything's fine. Just drove into my door.
Copy, okay.
So McLaughlin unhappy, but Pato awards everything going his way so far.
Side by side. You fucking moron. Really?
Yeah, I am.
What are you doing? We're supposed to be side by side in turn 15. You close the fucking door. Why? We're supposed to be side by side.
You gotta drive
no,
through
we're
for a
supposed to be
reason.
side.
You gotta drive through for a reason, Dad. For a reason, you gotta drive
Really?
through.
We'll show you the video. I'll show you the video.
Okay, show me the video.
Pull up the video.
Show me the
Pull up the
video.
video.
You gotta drive through for a reason. We're not even green.
Yeah, you fucking drove to the side of me.
Oh, okay. I'll drive to the side.
You fucking drove.
I'm on the outside. I'm on the outside.
Listen, if you undercut every stint, you have to run a monster finish. There's no free lunch in this business. What you don't want to do is have to limp home at the end of the day.
And the other thing you don't want, if you are the leader of this race, is to be coming up to traffic you have to lap. But that is exactly the situation that's befallen Graham Rahal. His lead of around 0.8 of a second, cut almost in half now as he comes up to the back of Jacob Abel. Of course, in this championship, if you are on the lead lap, you can defend your position on that lead lap, even against the leader as he comes through to try and take that lap away. The first 4 drivers now split by less than 2 seconds. Rahal, Pullo, McLaughlin and DeFrancesco. What a fight we have with 4 completely different strategies between these top 4.
And if you're Graham Rahal, Right now, you might be asking your team, hey guys, walk down to Dale Coyne Racing and tell the 51 to get out of my way. We are having a dream day in Indianapolis, and we don't need this right now. But Jacob Abel on the lead lap has every right to fight to stay there. His last lap, a 1:13.6. Graham Rahal, a 1:13.5.
You can see the push-to-pass being used by Graham to defend against Palou. He's so close. This is such a frustrating situation as a driver. You're leading the race. Clean air is king. You've earned the right for that clean air. Pulling a nice gap on second place, and this lap car robbing you of that clean air. Let's listen to what Graham's saying from behind the wheel.
No help from the front. There is no help from the front.
No help.
No help coming.
Well, there's another issue here as well, which is that Abel only pitted 3 laps ago, and he's on brand new hard tires. That car will be fast.
Graham Rahal on his off time, one of the country's greatest exotic car wheeler dealers. He's saying, you know how many transactions I've done with Meekum at the auction? Come on, guys, help me out.
Don't think that's being considered right now.
Oh, with Graham, I'll bet it is.
Well, I'm saying for the 51, it is not. And here's the thing, Jacob Abel, he has every right to try to race and stay on the lead lap if a yellow were to come out, though apparently that doesn't happen in 2025. He could get back to the tail end of the field. You don't want to lose that lap if you don't have to, so Jacob doing what he can.
Now, Graham Rahal staring at the back of Jacob Abel. Some radio.
Come on, get this guy out of the way.
Trying. Right now they won't give us any help, buddy.
Well, not happy with that decision, as not only is he staring at the potential of his first win since 2017, but at the moment staring at the rear wing of a car that he really doesn't need or want to be. And now, look at how close Palou has got. And he's tucked up right behind him.
This is, as a driver, you've got to start thinking about how much push to pass do I want to use, as Palou's got 99 seconds, Rahal 94. There is Christian Lundgaard making his second stop of the day, lap 39. So you got to think these leaders. James, I think I might start pulling either Rahal or Palou in. One of them probably going to duck first and be the first to pull the trigger to try to make the move on a pit stop.
It's the way to do it. You're not getting your full lap time potential behind this lap traffic. The clean air you would hopefully come out in, about 40 seconds lost in pit lane right now. That would put you out behind Stingray Robb, ahead of Robert Schwartzman in a nice little bubble. You could maybe do that undercut and save the fuel later, but Palou's on the power.
Here he comes on the push to pass, down the start-finish stretch, taking a look at Graham Rahal, who I think defends with the push to pass as well.
I wonder if Graham is running a little less downforce than Palou, because when they get to the front straightaway, Alex Palou having a tough time to close on Graham Rahal, and Graham has burned, though, a lot of seconds. So maybe he was on the button pretty heavily, because he burned about 10 seconds that lap.
I think he was, and here's the extra frustrating thing as we see Colton Herta in the top of your screen coming in for his next service. When this stint started, Graham had about a 30-second advantage on push-to-pass over Palou. That was going to be so important later in the race. Now he's at a 10-second deficit. This is really, really not going Graham's way.
And all the while, Alex Palou just probably smiling back there, Will, knowing, hey, I love that he's burning that button.
The question mark, of course, when to come in for 100% renewable Shell fuel. You want to try and stay out as long as you can. You want to try and make these stints last as long as you can, so that you don't have to pull 2 long stints at the end of this race, but all the time aware that the undercut has been the strategy to employ all the way through today. Who dares blink first between Rahal and Palou? Rahal down now to 71 seconds on the push to pass. Palou now with 24 to the good over his rival.
I know Graham Rahal wants to stay in the lead. He wants to win this race, but you also have to discipline yourself to make sure you've got push to pass as you get to the closing phases.
Oh no, we've got a crash.
Scott McLaughlin. And we were talking earlier about Guerrero back in '92. The one thing you don't want to do is to have your race ended before it's even begun.
It is over.
Sorry, bud. It's okay. Don't stress about it. That's all right. We're okay.
1992, was cold like this as Scott Dixon, the number 9 PNC car, smoking, and you have to wonder, was there contact or is that moisture on the track? And maybe there was still some moisture from McLaughlin in his spin, but his left front suspension is destroyed. His day is over. Scott Dixon is on fire on the left rear.
What has happened out there on track between these two?
Pitch his time, Scott.
Two of the favorites coming in, two very strong contenders. See a massive fire inside the left rear tire there at Dixon.
That's in the brake system. It's behind the left.
He didn't pit. We heard the call over the radio to pit this lap. They left him out there. That could be a huge issue as we see the devastation on Scott McLaughlin's face in his body language.
And that is what it means. That is what it means to have your dreams wrenched away from you before you've even had an opportunity to make them real. Galling. Utterly galling for Scott McLaughlin. And I wonder, guys, Scott Dixon on row 2, McLaughlin on row 4, how could they have come together? They're 2 rows apart.
Well, we don't know if they had contact yet, but let's get a report maybe on what's going on with Scott Dixon's car as the EMR safety team goes to work on McLaughlin. Here's what happened with Scotty Mack.
We ride on board with McLaughlin warming his tires. Oh no. Oh no. Warming his tires, swerving just to put some temperature into the rubber and just loses it.
The track is cold. The tires are cold. These cars are set up to turn left. They don't do straight very well, Townsend. And when you light up the rear tires to try to get a bit of heat into them, it is so easy to have that happen.
Well, especially if there's any of that residual rain moisture on the racetrack. And for Scott McLaughlin, the worst feeling I can possibly imagine as a racing driver. Trying to come to grips with what seemed like the most bizarre moment of his life. Jamie, the 3 out.
Yes, I just talked to his strategist, Ben Bretzman, and he said exactly what you guys just saw. It's a cold track. He was trying to warm up his tires, swerved too much to the left, hit the inside wall, and I just asked him, is there any chance that can be repaired? He said, no, we are done.
And as we sit under caution, one of the big stories, Scott McLaughlin already out of the race from the warm-up laps. He's standing by with Georgia.
Scott McLaughlin's day is done. How do you dissect a moment like this?
Rookie, I don't know what, I really have no idea what happened. Just really upset for my team. They built me a fantastic car again. I'm really sorry to my sponsors, my fans, my family. I don't know what happened. I can't believe we're out of the race. I just had so much hope today, and yeah, it's by far the worst moment of my life. So I'm just, I know it's probably dramatic, everyone's whatever, but it's just like I put so much into this race, everyone does, and I'm just didn't even get to see the green flag.
Devastating moment for Scott McLaughlin.
Side by side back there, Alex Palou going around Rosenquist. Puff of smoke still out of the back of Scott Dixon. As side by side they are, a crash and one.
Marco Andretti got together with Marcus Armstrong. There's Andretti in the 98 car.
Steering wheel off. Means Marco's all right, but obviously intense damage to the left rear, to the right rear. And the curse continues at Indianapolis.
His 20th start, and absolute devastation for Andretti, for Mario, for Michael, most importantly, for Marco.
And what an eerily familiar resemblance to the 1992 Indy 500. A car crashing on the pace lap. We've had that with McLaughlin, and an Andretti into the wall. Let's see what happened to Marco all the way in the back.
5 wide there. Yeah, he gets hit by Jack Harvey. And then Armstrong, just an innocent bystander. Marco tried to hang on to it. It's so tough.
Marcus did well to keep out of that.
Looked to me like maybe the 23 of Ryan Hunter-Reay moved up a little bit, got into his teammate Harvey, and that's what forced Harvey high as we get a late shot here of Marco trying to save it. He was sideways, thought he might get it.
On board as we see Andretti spin and in the wall and out of the Indianapolis 500. You've already seen the fact that Marco Andretti is out of this race. He's standing by with Georgia.
this race. He is also out of the IndyCar medical unit. Marco, do you feel like you could have done anything differently there?
Yeah, just been, I guess, patient. But I mean, I couldn't have moved. Once I was committed up there, I couldn't have moved. I was kind of at the wall. They must have been 4 wide. I haven't seen it yet. But whoever was next to me definitely crowded me, and I ran out of room.
Thanks.
Good to see that Marco is okay after that hit that took him out of the race. Welcome back to the NTT INDYCAR Series on Fox, live from the Indianapolis 500. We ride on board courtesy of NTT with Alexander Rossi, and just moments ago, that Java House machine was smoking. And is that a dry part of the track, or is that smoke still coming out of the back of that car?
Is it steam or is it oil? That is a critical question, as you see the left side dumping a tremendous amount of either smoke or steam. And James, there's not much either oil or water to supply that smoke. And Rossi smoking it on track. He just passed DiFrancesco, but now slow on the front straight.
DiFrancesco passes him back. Alex Palou tucked up.
There's everything good. Pit is fine. Pit.
Oh, he's getting loose.
No.
He's getting really loose there in 2. And Alex Palou is right behind. And look at what Palou is seeing. Fluid all over the visor.
They need to tell him it's a problem, not just to pit, because he could have an issue here in turn 3. Rossi way off the pace. Very wisely being conservative, but look how much is going on the camera. So imagine what's on the windscreen of Alex Palou right now.
Palou must be screaming on the radio saying, hey, you got to get that guy in. Now, luckily, Palou's able to clear him. Rossi comes to pit lane. Terrible luck for Rossi, who was having a great day.
We're going to have to diagnose this. This is going to be a minute here, so we'll do a stop here. We're going to have to take a look at it.
Kevin.
That's Tim Broyles talking to Alexander Rossi right before you guys notice things. He said it's getting really loose. We're wondering, is this a gearbox issue? Remember, they lost some water during the final practice, and they've now just told him to shut it off and get a fire extinguisher out.
Yeah, they lost the water pump on carb day. As there's tons
fire!
of fluid.
There's fire all over the car. Fuel had gone out. And fire down on pit lane. It's something you never want to see. Rossi out of the car as flames engulf the number 20 ECR. And that is Rossi's day over, and he is furious with a race which had looked to be coming to him.
You saw that's another fuel leak?
No, you saw
it.
The fuel hose came out, tons of fuel poured out onto the side of the car, and as soon as they were talking about taking off the bodywork, I was worried that it might catch fire. Mike Miller, the fueler,
separate
gets
issues.
sprayed down. Hope everything is okay there.
Worrying scenes down on pit lane.
Peel it off.
Track stays green.
And Rossi is standing by with Kevin.
Every racing driver's worst nightmare. You're sitting in the cockpit with an aero screen and it's on fire. Are you okay, Alex?
Yeah, and thankfully Mike's okay too. It's always a terrible situation, and it's so disappointing. Like it was such a phenomenal race car, and the team made a great decision to stay out there when that first split happened with the strategy, and everything that we were doing on the 20 Java House stand was awesome. So that's what's so painful about this place is you have to have so many things go right, and it's just disappointing because it's another opportunity gone, but the way it goes.
What was the issue? What led to the fire?
Yeah, I don't know the full details. All I know is the gearbox was starting to go up in temp a lot, and I don't know if oil was starting to come out or what, but it was a gearbox issue.
Thank you. Glad you're okay.
Really scary scenes down on pit lane. But quick reaction from the crew down there, and thankfully everybody all right.
Credit to Mike Miller. He was still trying to put the fire out on the car when the fire was on his hands.
Yeah.
Yep. So we got a spinner. Kyle Larson.
No! Larson hits Simpson.
I think Stingray Ron may have been caught up in that as well.
It is game over for Larson, and that is the double. Done and dusted.
1,100 miles will not be completed by Kyle Larson today, unfortunately. That was a very manic restart. Ed Carpenter slid up wide into the path of Palou. Palou had to get on the brakes, slow it down. You see Kiffin Simpson in the wall in the number 8 machine. AMR safety team on the scene. You see a thumbs up coming out of the cockpit.
And that's good to see.
I thought we hit
for Simpson. Oh, there's someone else.
I think that's Stingray Rob.
That is Stingray. You're right. Ooh. That is Stingray Rob, who has gone into the tire barrier on the left-hand side of the track. Not often you see a driver end up down there.
Safety team helping as Stingray Rob looks to be climbing out under his own power. AMR safety team dispatched in multiple locations here for Larson and Simpson. So out climbs Kiffin Simpson. There goes Stingray Rob. That's a great sign. But boy, guys, dramatic. These restarts. You know, one of the issues, James, is I think the leader's speed has been very slow on these restarts. Everybody's getting pretty bunched up in the back.
Great to see the AMR IndyCar safety team on the scene as fast as they have been, not just this month of May, but everywhere we go and everywhere we race. So let's take a look at this from the outside. There goes Larson to the bottom. A little wiggle, and it just goes.
He just lost it in the short chute on the entrance to 2, and Kiffin Simpson almost got around.
Stingray Rob did avoid contact, but got up in the gray, cranked the wall. That would have been the suspension. Then you see the car just pitch left. Nothing the driver could do at that point along for the ride.
Let's look again here at real speed.
Larson at the bottom, now to the top.
Stingray Rob just broke the right rear toe link, and at that point, he's a passenger, as we'll take a look from Kyle Larson on board.
Oh, he downshifted.
Oh, no.
Third gear, you're at the top of third gear. That was a downshift he did not need.
Downshift just adds torque to the rear tires on board with Marcus Ericsson having to avoid it. You see the car spinning. It's so hard to know which way to go in that moment. He kind of just held steady. Didn't make anything, no sudden moves. Here's on board with Stingray Rob now, outside of Larson on the restart, down the front straight. But Larson's going to have that massive toe to his left. Stingray kind of out on his own. That's the 66, I believe, of Armstrong on the outside.
Oh, Larson fires it right back in. And now watch this. Larson's going to slow up and then grab that fateful downshift that kicks him sideways.
Oh, and it looks almost like he reacted to Larson spinning alongside him, tried to give him just a little inch or two more.
Oh, you rarely see cars get down into that wall. That's
Hardly
a
ever.
hard impact.
Yeah,
even though
rapid.
it's a relatively slow pace for an Indy car.
One of the biggest stories coming into today's Indy 500 was, of course, Kyle Larson going for the double. It will not be, but he's standing by down on pit lane.
Yeah, Kyle Larson's day is done. Kyle, what happened?
Yeah, it was a bit crazy there on the start, and I got like tight behind Takuma. I was really close to him, and I think as I finally got maybe shaded left him, I haven't seen a replay, I got loose and just kind of got all over the place, and drove me, so I spun. So just hate that I...
What's the play for Hunter Ray?
Got a little too eager there on the restart, and caused that crash. So hate it for everybody that also got caught up in it. Just bummed out. So try to get over this quickly and get on to Charlotte and just forget about it and try to win the next one.
His day continues with a race in Charlotte later today.
Yeah, brutal break for Kyle Larson. Got a good replay there again. I think it's that downshift to third, top of the rev range. Kind of got on the throttle, it loosened him up, and game over. And unfortunately took a couple of contenders with him.
Stingray Rob has been released from the IndyCar medical unit. Was that a wrong place, wrong time situation? Is there anything else you could have done?
I mean, looking at it in my head, I don't see a way to get out of that. I mean, when Kyle started losing it, I was checking up, and once he spun, I was trying to get around the outside, but there's just no grip out there. Cold track, cold tires on the restart. It's just tough conditions, and these cars are much more difficult to drive this year. It's unfortunate. So I wish, here's an onboard. Yeah, I wish we could do something different, but that's not the way I wanted to end our race. Watching the replay now, though, right there, he just lost it, and yeah, we were just too high to try and avoid it. Not much to do. I mean, they did sweep the high line, but not that high. If they were to have slept one more lane up, I think that we would have been okay, but that's frustrating.
Thanks, Stingray.
Thumbs up from Stingray Rob.
Back left didn't crash. Would you say your hazard was coming down? Yeah, it was tough. It was just kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time. It was a good restart for us. I felt like we were moving forward really strong. We were in a good spot. The car was feeling good and just got collected really. So nothing I could really do. I tried to get as high as possible, but it gets really sketchy if you get up too high. So I was kind of balancing that and just barely got clipped. So yeah, super sorry to the number 8 junior World Honda guys, and we'll be back stronger next weekend.
Will Power puts the nose to. Oh my goodness, this is good stuff.
What? He's stuck. He's not stuck.
He is. No, he is flooring it into the back of Kyle Kirkwood.
Didn't even try to hit the brakes.
Chrome horn.
He's stuck
on display.
Mate, you hit the brakes, not on stick.
Yeah, no,
that is a very intentional
driving
move, and that's insanely dangerous. If that, I can. Look, he just forced him by Malukas, and then nearly stuffs him in the wall.
What did Kirkwood do to deserve that?
Doesn't matter, T-Bell. You can't do that. That's unbelievable. I would be shocked if he's not called to the principal's office after the session for that. I mean, I don't know what rule you try to get him for, but at the very least, have a talking to.
I mean, there's bump drafting and there's bump drafting.
Yeah. That was like a tush push, 4th and goal.
That was.
Listen.
Kirkwood. Look, he's turning. Look at him.
Gee whiz.
Oh, man, Kirkwood was on the radio trying to describe what he was experiencing. And remember what happened last year with Kirkwood and Ferrucci in the same part of the racetrack.
We might see more potential fisticuffs.
And no damage to Will Power's car, seemingly. It's like he planted his nose perfectly into the attenuator or just off the attenuator up on the diffusers.
But that move with Power broke the whole gearbox cover on Kyle Kirkwood's car. So they're getting it fixed, but not a lot of movement right now.
And not a lot of movement from race control and even investigating it, which I find perplexing.
The fact that he's losing legitimate track time right here, I mean, this isn't funny. This is quite a big issue, and I'm shocked that there's been nothing from race control. At the same time, there quite literally might not be a rule. I've never seen anything like that, T-Bell. I don't know if, I mean, you think it's funny, but I don't know what, short of sitting him down after the fact and say, hey, maybe don't do that.
Does that not come under forcing a driver off the track?
Well, it's avoidable contact.
Well, I can tell you that the floor is broken on the 27. I just caught up with Brian Herta, and he is also wondering if penalties will be inflicted on Will Power. So waiting on that, but definitely not happy on the 27 stand right now, and the floor is broken on Kyle Kirkwood's car.
Well, according to Will, the contact was unavoidable because they were stuck.
Is that what he said?
No, you.
Oh, me? I thought you meant Will Power.
Yeah, maybe Will's going to say that too. Hey, we were stuck. As we take another look here.
Contact with Kyle Kirkwood. How did that transpire?
Well, I came around and he slowed up in the middle and made contact. So I thought, well, I may as well get a gap now. So I just pushed him past the car in front, just moved him out of the way and got a really nice gap. So, yeah, if I hadn't touched him already, I was like, oh, well, I'm already touching him. I may as well just keep pushing him and get myself a gap. Got a good gap and finished the run nicely.
Well, he said, I already know what you're going to ask me, but we did get Will Power's perspective on the moment. So I'd like to hear your perspective on the push.
I don't know. Everyone's going slow around here. The track's not big enough to fit all the cars, and he got frustrated. I mean, whatever, I guess. Is it give him the right to push my car through a couple corners and almost cause a wreck? I don't think so. But, yeah, right here, Malukas is right in front of me. Like, I can't really do much, and he's just shoving me along. So everyone stopped. So, I don't know. I'm not upset. I don't care. We're P1. But at the same time, I expect IndyCar to do the right thing with that. I'm sure that they'll do something. Who knows what? Never seen that before. But good day in the Siemens 27 Honda. We had damage from that too, so maybe we were even a little bit faster. So who knows?
Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you.
And I wonder what his reaction would have been were he not P1 right now. No messing around, no waiting around for Santino Ferrucci, who leads from Kiffin Simpson and Marcus Armstrong. Big lock up from Armstrong, and Kirkwood will try to have a look, but it's only ever going to be single file. Palou is in the barrier at 1, and that will will be another caution for sure. The championship leader is in the barriers, trying to get himself into reverse, trying to get himself out. But Alex Palou,
can he use that hybrid system to restart it and reverse it?
Crew Chief Ricky Davis looks on.
The 500 curse continues, guys.
And the perfect season is over.
Well, in terms of getting podiums,
yeah,
that's it.
He's asking for the push back. We're just getting the tail end of it.
Oh, he got hit by Malukas.
Did he get into him?
100%.
Well, we didn't see the start of it, but we have to assume maybe that's what happened. Yep. Well, there goes Malukas' day, because race control will almost certainly rule that a drive-through penalty.
As the laps count down, 22 to go, and Palou is with Georgia.
Which is with Georgia, significantly better looking than I am. Alex, just tell us from your perspective what happened there.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I for sure somebody hit me behind. Yeah, very unfortunate. We did an amazing recovery this weekend. Didn't really have much space at the beginning, and I thought we were running good to try and sneak into the podium at the end. So yeah, doesn't feel great, but nothing we could have done there, I think.
Better luck next weekend, champ.
Kev, we've got a caution out. We've got a driver in the wall, and I think that's Devlin DiFrancesco, who has put the rear of his RLL into the barrier. And after 4 frantic and thrilling laps, we have our first caution here in St. Louis for Devlin DiFrancesco.
The only driver more upset about this caution than Dev is Connor Daly, because he was on an absolute roll. But let's take a look at what happened.
Just lost it.
Lost it on his own on entry there. You got to try to arc it in late here in turn 1, 2. Just a little too much, little too late. Nolan Siegel had the front row view to that one.
So Devlin DiFrancesco, under his own steam, puts it in the barriers, and that is the challenge of Gateway.
Connor Daly floating high mid-corner, and he's getting air on that front wing and making it work. Connor Daly now to 4th as Newgarden and Kirkwood side by side.
And Newgarden should make that move stick, but Kirkwood keeps his foot in. The man who won the last race in Detroit won on the streets of Long Beach as well. Something of a street course specialist. Joseph Newgarden, something of a gateway specialist, and you see picture-in-picture, the top of your screen, Devlin DiFrancesco thought his day was over. The team, however, as we understand it, may have been able to actually repair his car, get that rear wing back on it, and he can get back in this race.
He can get back on track.
Oh no, our camera guy is down. I hope he's all right. It looked like something happened there as DiFrancesco stopped.
Devlin, I heard on the radio, it was like, I don't know what happened. What did happen there, man?
We don't know. Clearly we just lost the rear. We've been lacking rear grip all weekend. We've just had real inconsistent balances. I don't know if we're not working the floor properly. It could be a bunch of different things. We need to review it and then see. Even when we went back out, it was hard to drive. But we'll work through it and keep working. The short ovals is where we generally need to work. But next week we'll go to Road America and the track will be okay after.
Were y'all able to learn much at all running the laps there after the incident?
Yeah, we tried a few different things, with tools in the cockpit, what worked, what didn't work, and, clearly we're just struggling with rear all day, so we'll keep working on it.
And we saw on the broadcast as well, you had a camera guy running after you. Everything all right with that whole situation? Were you hurt at all? Is he all right? Or?
No, I think he was fine. I was running because I was told to get back in the car, and he was running behind me and tripped.
And Palou all over the back of Power again. They're going to go too wide on the run down to Canada corner.
Palou and Power at it again. Side by side. Power on the inside.
Oh! Both of them past Kyle Kirkwood. Brilliant stuff.
That is a full send like I've never seen before in Canada corner. I'm not sure Power planned to pass Kirkwood. He got in so hot.
He got passed. They both got passed by Palou. So net negative for Kirkwood. Break even for Power, but I'm with
Yellow's
you.
Out. Oh, big one.
Schwartzman.
That's Robert Schwartzman
Turn
in the
12.
Right, let's take a look at that incredible double overtake. I'm not sure quite how intentional it was, but it was absolutely stunning to see this from ahead, from above, from the helicopter.
Yeah, brilliant run from Alex Palou to get to the outside, and Will Power just decides to go full send to defend and ends up accidentally getting way too deep unfortunately, Kyle Kirkwood watching everything in his mirror. Such a heads-up move from Kirkwood. Watch this. This should have been a crash with 20 other drivers in the field, but Kyle Kirkwood, who's become a master of finishing races, reminds me a lot of Scott Dixon as you see Kirkwood's view of things, and Kirkwood can only probably laugh and say, this is ridiculous. Kevin.
Not exactly laughing. Entertaining for us. Kirkwood was not a big fan.
The was that, Will? Stupid. I literally just had to avoid them. They should give us that position back.
That's all right, bud. Long race here.
I agree with the sentiment, but that is just not how racing works. I mean, Will was absolutely out of control. But look, that's a championship-winning move from Kirkwood. It's avoiding accidents like that. Like you said, very Dixon-esque. That keeps you in the fight. He would have hated to see Palou going by, but it was great.
And listen, if Kirkwood were to close on this championship down the stretch, we'd look back to that moment as potentially a move that delivers his best worst finish of the season. And you know what? It's not that bad with him running right now, still in 6th.
And earlier today in practice, Will Power certainly felt that Alex Palou didn't give him enough of a gap out there on circuit. This, the onboard from the number 12, slowing down as Palou came out onto the track from the pit lane. And after the session, Will Power went to vent his frustration, shall we say, with Alex Palou.
I was treating her Why? I always move people out of the way. I always get out of the way. Like you just the whole session. Good job out there. Yeah, thank you. Why is he not talking to you? What? Who? Will. Who? Oh. Was he mad? Yeah.
Palou all smiles, but what about Power?
So that was interesting, Will, at the end of the last practice session. What were you most upset about? What was resolved?
I went out in new tires and he came out a lap later in front of me and then stayed there and then spent 4 laps just going slow. So I had to keep backing up, which was frustrating. And then I came in, made a change, went out on a money lap, sent him out of the pits again right in front of me, and he didn't move. He just kept going, and I had to back up again. So and he didn't have anyone in front of him, and I had clear behind me. He could have just backed off, which I always do for him and anyone else if I'm in that position. So just a little bit frustrated with that, whether it's on him or they sent him there. But he said sorry when I walked up because he knew. But we're struggling. We're trying to get an idea of what our car is doing, and if you keep backing up, lose tire temp, you don't know. So that's why I was frustrated.
Do you know what you have? Because you didn't get a clean lap yesterday on the softs and didn't get one today in practice either on the hards.
Not really. Yeah, I think it's frustrating for everyone to get a lap because these tracks are small with so many cars. But gonna have to send it, man. Like, gonna have to push very hard to get through. So that's the goal.
He's won 5 poles here, going for number 6 today.
Well, that's Power's reaction. Alex Palou watching the replay back, and that's his reaction to it all. This in a moment between Santino Ferrucci and Connor Daly. Ferrucci really running Daly out of track. I mean, there's getting your elbows out and there's forcing another driver off track, and that, unfortunately for me, looks like the Jekyll and Hyde nature of Santino Ferrucci.
What happened before that?
Well,
because that does generally just come out of nowhere. So have to look here. Now Daly giving a little bit of a squeeze there, but then he opened things back up and crossed up Santino Ferrucci. But then Ferrucci just says, you know what? I'm going to send you on a gardening leave.
He sent himself into the garden as well.
Wow. Black hat.
That's reminiscent of last year at the Indy GP. You know, sometimes when Santino tries to overly aggressively defend, it hurts his race as much as it hurts anybody else's.
I mean, we all love hard, aggressive racing, but James, you and I talked about this morning. Look at the top 3 in the championship with Alex Palou, Kyle Kirkwood, Pato O'Ward, Christian Lundgaard, Scott Dixon. Let's go with the top 5. They never drive like that.
you never see those moments of lapse in judgment out of the guys that are running up front. And look, it's a disappointing day right now for AJ Foyt Racing. They're running, right at the back. Ferrucci 19th, Malukas in 28th. This is a team we've been talking about the last few weeks, have been on such a run, and not a great track for them, not a great day, and that's frustration boiling over in a really, really poor way.
Stewarding decision has come in. It is immediate and it is harsh for Santino Ferrucci. Well, he will think it's harsh anyway. 3 places he has to give up for avoidable contact. So Ferrucci will drop down from where he is right now to 18th, back to 21st, thus giving the position back to Connor Daly. Avoidable and unnecessary from Santino Ferrucci, who gives up those positions now, dropping his way back to 21st.
Yeah, oftentimes those penalties can be sort of low, medium, high. On the higher side would be a stop and go or a drive-through penalty, and in this case Ferrucci on the milder side in terms of receiving the penalty, just 3 spots he has to give up. Last lap, Lundgaard a 107.0 to Dixon's 107.7. So that's the kind of pace he needs.
Problem for Palou. He's gone slowly, and Scott Dixon has gone past him.
Does he have a mechanical problem? Did he drop a wheel? He seems to be back up to pace, Townsend.
I don't know if he's been off the track. I don't know if he's had a mechanical problem. But something has gone wrong for Alex Palou. He has lost the lead of this race to his teammate Scott Dixon, who is the new race leader.
He bobbled once before, and we'll have to see if he put it off the racetrack again. Tricky section right here, and he gets a little loose and he gets wide. A mistake from Palou again, and this time it will cost him.
An unforced error while leading a race comfortably from the 3-time champ. I don't think we've ever seen it.
Not one, James, but 2 that we've seen from him today. Alex Palou pushing to the max, making the mistake, losing the lead. That is so uncharacteristic.
Guys, the pass has happened, but the race is not over. You've got 5 laps to go. We know Dixon's making a big number, and we already said that Palou is probably taking care of his tires in case he needed them later. Guys, he needs them now.
All of a sudden, something that seemed to be a foregone conclusion, Palou with another win, is anything but. This will be a shootout over 4 more laps between teammates and a hard-charging and closing Christian Lundgaard. Dixon is thinking, you got to be kidding me. You handed me the lead. You're going to have to steal it from my hands now.
It has been a calendar year since Scott Dixon has won a race in the NTT IndyCar Series. The 6-time champion is one of the toughest drivers to beat. He is not going to hand this thing to Alex Palou on a silver platter. He is going to have to come and take it away from his teammate. Dixon exits down the back stretch. Palou will be furious with himself, kicking himself for the 2 mistakes that he's made in today's race, but particularly for that last one that took him not just off the track, but denied him the lead and handed it back to his teammate.
Alex Palou, such an uncharacteristic and rare mistake. I've got to ask, just what happened in turn 9?
I don't know, man. Just a stupid mistake, honestly. Mistake by my part. The car was amazing all weekend, all race. Everybody in the 10 car did an amazing job on pit stops and strategy. Like, we were running really good, but just lost it a little bit on entry, and then kind of couldn't really get power going on. So yeah, man, nobody to blame but me. Just got a big wide on entry and lost it completely. So it sucks. It sucks. It hurts a lot. Obviously, it's still a good day, but yeah, it hurts to lose it like that. So yeah. Anyway, at least we got it in the team. So they can feel proud about their work, but yeah, big mistake.
A bad mistake maybe, but still P2. Congrats, champ.
Thank you.
It's not often that anybody finishes ahead or gets to the advanced auto parts checkered flag before Alex Palou, but his teammate Scott Dixon has done so today, his first victory of the year.
So we got to talk about what happened with Connor Daly on it, and he called you out on Twitter. He called you out on the podcast, on his own podcast. What do you think about the incident between you and him last week, and what he said so far?
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it to Bob Podcast as well, who posted on Twitter. Made a mistake, just missed the bottom, and I just didn't really do a great job getting the car rotated. I mean, to be honest with you, even if he wasn't out there, I was going off the track. So I just totally made a mistake, and he was obviously consequence of that. But then I was going to go say something, brake checked me in pit lane, and so at that point considered us even. So now we'll go into the next couple of races, clean slate, ready to kick some ass.
I assume the answer's no, but have you talked to Santino at all this weekend?
Oh yeah, people are actually very upset by the wonderful conversation we had, honestly. Max Pappas got us together. I think it's a little bit less violent and awful than people think it is, but a lot of comments, wild quote game. And yeah, it is what it is. I mean, realistically, there's a race to be run, and hopefully it's obviously a smart race. There's no reason. Like I told Santino to his face, I was like, dude, you're in a great position. Like, you have a great spot all year long. Like, there's no reason to do something that would kind of take us both out of a spot to have a good day. So, and like, we shook hands and all.
So was that yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday.
So what are you feeling like that was a productive, pleasant conversation that was maybe different than
I mean, it was fine. I actually think Santino plays up the quotes really well for like the internet. I think he's very good at that. And obviously I never lie about what I want to say. But yeah, if people actually saw us like communicating, you'd be like, oh, that's not as violent as we thought it would be. But I mean, again, I don't think opinions change. Like, it's not like all of a sudden I'm like, that guy's my best friend. You know what I mean? That's for sure. So, we'll see what happens.
Oh, there's a big hit. Turn 4. Underneath our camera position, and that is Devlin DeFrancesco.
Is that McLaughlin as well?
It is McLaughlin. One of the drivers we had expected to be making moves up. He grinds to a halt on the grass, his rear wing damaged, and what a shame for one of the most electrifying races in the field yesterday.
Remember back to the second race of the season at Thermal, it was these two drivers on the start at the back of the field that also crashed. Let's see if we can figure out what happens. There is Scott McLaughlin in that light blue Gallagher car, just hanging out high, and unfortunately Devlin just loses it and clips the back of Scott McLaughlin.
Did McLaughlin get into him? Did Dev have to check up a little bit there?
No, I think McLaughlin was high, and Dev just lost it.
Yeah, you're right, T-Bell. Just nowhere he could go. Sort of similar to the spin we saw Nolan Siegel yesterday for Dev, just down low, loses the back of the car, cold tires.
Similar to the spin that we saw from Dev at Gateway, to be completely fair. And McLaughlin, an innocent bystander, and wouldn't have been there if he hadn't have made up so many positions right from the start. A sign of what might have been, and isn't that just the story of his season? Well, as the only Penske on the lead lap continues to hunt down the leader, let's hear from one of their number taken out on the first lap.
Scott McLaughlin charged through the field to finish 4th yesterday. Another good car. You'd already moved up 4. Anything you could have done to avoid it? And then what's the emotion knowing you don't get the chance again?
Yeah, it sucks. I was really excited for today. The Gallagher Chevy was, going to be just as good. And I think I got caught up in someone else's accident. So there's only so much you can do to avoid. I think we nearly got him, and then he just sort of, there we go. Oh, yeah, I would have just got through and probably would have got through unscathed, but I clipped there, and unfortunately, yep, it is what it is. But I'll take, there's a couple of negatives this weekend, but we'll take it positive for yesterday and just charge through to Toronto.
Team I see is back there, so there's a chance they may try to repair that and score some points if possible. Thank you, Scott.
Here with Devlin DeFrancesco after spin in the early stage of race 2 at Iowa. Devlin, what happened to the car there in turn 4?
Our cross rate seemed to be quite high after speaking to my engineer. With the boys did a great job having to split the car this morning to do a hybrid change, and we went out for the green flag lap, and it seemed quite loose and nervous early on. I went to the right on the jacker, but when that kind of stuff happens and you got to thrash put the car back together, it makes things challenging.
I know you and Scott McLaughlin have talked before after what happened at Thermal a couple months ago. Is it a shame to be involved with him again in a crash during the season?
At the end of the point there was nothing really I could have done. It's just unfortunate.
Thank you, Dev.
Oh, and VK. And VK was in a battle with Dixon and Kirkwood over what is 7th place.
Turn 3 again. We saw that catch out guys in practice. We saw Connor and Schwartzman go off there earlier.
And who does this hurt? Colton hurt him. Didn't get in.
Didn't pit.
If the yellow comes out, they might leave it open.
Pelot's in just before pit lane closes, if indeed they are going to close it. So, here is the incident, and it was Kirkwood and VK. Oh! We are back at the Java House Grand Prix of Monterey, live on Fox under caution. After Carl Kirkwood punted Rinus VK into the gravel, we have the onboard now with Kirkwood. Having a look up the inside of the Dutchman. It's a nice line through there. They run too wide, almost contact, a little bit of contact there. And then on the run down in, and just punts him straight off and into the gravel.
Kirkwood was committed here. He was going inside come hell or high water, and I don't think he expected VK to be as narrow as he was. So when he went for that slice, he thought VK was going to go and he was going to surprise Rinus VK. It just didn't work out for Kirkwood. He will probably get a drive-through.
Nolan Siegel leads.
With Scott McLaughlin.
Is that Devlin DiFrancesco?
DiFrancesco.
Yeah. Old friends. Oh, and says good morning, Devlin. I think he was telling him how many sugars he wanted in his coffee. Just the one. Why don't we hear a bit of radio from Devlin DiFrancesco?
He's playing games now, he's backing off now.
That's all right, he's just giving us a gap, that's all.
Yeah, look, guys, finding that gap, it's going to be a big deal at this short track in that first segment of qualifying.
Did have a moment with Devlin DiFrancesco. What led to those frustrations today?
Oh, well, no, it's not. It's just builds up, I guess. That's twice in a row Dev's got me coming out of the pits, and it just gets frustrating. I mean, like, you're coming down there at 180, 190 mile an hour, and the guy just parks at the apex of turn 1. It's just, I guess, it's etiquette, right? But there's a couple of bonehead moves out there I wasn't too happy with, and yeah, like, I mean, like, it's just like, what are we doing there? So, I mean, and then it's like clear, if you, I was like, okay, you stuff up, pull to the inside off too, but he just keeps going, and I'm just like, okay, well, it was, yeah, it's annoying. But, you know, LSV battery car feels good, and, you know, we're making leaps and bounds. We weren't that great rolling off the truck yesterday, so yeah, we made got some, you know, better runs there. Still a little bit more to improve on, but yeah, it doesn't help when you're getting held up.
That being said, how do you feel going forward to qualifying?
Yeah, good. I mean, you know, like I said, we've got to find a little bit of pace, but you know, overall, like I feel, you know, okay. So yeah, we'll just keep working at it. We're pushing hard here, and yeah, see what we got.
Thanks, Scott. Do you feel like you did anything wrong?
Look, I've been in that position like he has to. It's extremely frustrating. Look, adrenaline's high in the car. I get it. You know, we were sent out, you know, from what the GPS tracker was saying, we were going to slot in behind him, and you know, we came out in front of him right probably as he was on a push lap. So, you know, it's unfortunate. You know, I don't mean to do that to anyone, and you know, so we'll move on to qualifying and make what we have a bit better. And we need a good weekend. You know, the 30 boys need a good weekend. I deserve a good weekend. You know, we clearly have the speed this weekend, so it's about execution.
Thanks, Devlin.
As we look back to some more issues for Scott McLaughlin. Were we just talking about this?
Yeah.
Oh, young Ferrucci. He's putting his coffee order in with Santino as well.
And then just look, none of those guys are going to get a clear lap. This is what's so frustrating to watch. I hated it when I was driving. Everyone in this series, not everyone, 90% of the people in this series are so bad at this, finding that gap, giving yourself the room that you need to get a reasonable read on the race car, but it's just nature.
Of the road course, this is the shortest one we come to, 1.9 miles, so it looks a lot more like a street circuit practice.
Oh, Daly trying to make it around the outside of Rasmussen in 7. That's
and he's bumped him off.
They both go off.
Contact between those two. Daly will be fuming, I'm sure, with that. Daly was leading the pack of drivers who had already come in to stop, was on the soft tyre, as Louis Foster now trying to take advantage of Daly with dirt all over his tyres, and the rookie gets through as well.
That really held up Daly's teammate Stingray Robb as well, who had to check up. Chaos down there in the last corner. Abel getting a little bit squirrely.
And all of those drivers could come into play.
How he can get away with that? That's insane.
Wow, now Foster putting the move on Rasmussen. That's nice, really nice from the rookie. Daly trying to get through as well, and that's a little bit of afters from Connor Daly. That's frustration seeping out of him.
Well, it didn't quite work, and now he's at risk of losing another spot to Rinus VeeKay. Just gets it done, but
that was a forceful lunge from Connor Daly. Total frustration down in turn 2 at the apex. That could have taken both of them out. Luckily, they survive, and Connor is determined now all over the back of Rasmussen. There they are exiting turn 7, and it looks like Connor will have a run.
Guys, this is a tight pack right here, heading down the back straight. Nolan Siegel ahead of Dev DiFrancesco at the front here. A little bit of defense. And
there in the background, Daly trying to get the move on Rasmussen. Oh! Big hit. That is big.
And that was...
It felt like that has been coming for a lap and a half. The frustration.
Rasmussen just wrecked us, so I'm sorry about that.
Glad to hear Connor's all right. That was a massive impact. We talked about the minimum speed through that corner, T-Bell, 150 plus miles an hour.
Yeah, that was 2 drivers with huge stubbornness, I think, in the moment. We don't know what happened in this accident. We certainly saw what happened down in turn 2.
So this is Daly putting the move on around the outside. Feels that Rasmussen just nudged him off the track there, and from this point on, the frustration in Connor Daly absolutely evident
and absolutely warranted. That wasn't a nudge, Will. He just drove him straight off. That was totally uncalled for, and we'll need to see that one a little bit earlier on if we can. It's tough to see how it started.
A horrible hit.
It is so fortunate that Connor's car did not get airborne or start rolling right there. I mean, he's going 100 and probably 40 miles an hour as he hits the grass. That is a terrifying crash. Great to hear Connor's voice and see him get out, but boy, that is lucky to walk away from.
AMR IndyCar safety team, always there so quickly. Great to see them there, but yeah, guys, let's take another look at this coming in. I mean,
so Connor
that's already after the fact. Connor up on the inside.
Well, he's trying to go on the outside of turn 10.
Yeah.
Which then turns into the inside of 11. Yeah, at some point, someone's got to give. And look, let's call a spade, guys. Rasmussen's not made a ton of friends this year in terms of some of the passing that he's pulled off.
Connor's ahead going in there, and it looked like Rasmussen took too much of the first apex trying to stubbornly defend. You saw a puff of dirt off the left side of Rasmussen's tires. It kind of jumped him up and into Connor, but it looked like, to me, that was Connor's corner.
There will be a lot of focus now on Rasmussen.
He's just ramming into me now. He just ran out of talent there. He's one back. Watch the bottom here.
I don't know what he expected me to do there.
I mean, probably
give him racing room, maybe.
Not run him off track.
Anyway, that's that one will end in words later today. I promise you that.
Connor Daly has been released from the IndyCar medical unit after a violent hit. Now, you and Christian had been battling for a while there, but can you take us through the sequence of events that ultimately led you here?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I saw him drive Colton almost into the wall in the back straight, and so that's how I got Colton and got in position, and he was quite slow, and so I tried to pass him into 7, and then, again, drove himself off the track to make sure that I drove off the track. So again, I'm not really sure the point of that. It kind of seems stupid in my opinion. And then he was really slow down the straight, and I just went to pass him, and then he just never stopped. So that's a really dangerous corner to try to do that. I mean, I feel like I had a lot more grip on reds, and I was pretty happy to turn in from there because I did the lap before on Colton, but he just never stopped. So I would say that was quite an unsavory move, and I don't really understand it. So, yeah, that was a shame.
We're glad to see that you're okay.
Thank you.
Connor doesn't understand it. Guys, I don't understand how Christian Rasmussen hasn't been given a penalty.
Well, because I think what we didn't show there was Connor going back on Christian Rasmussen, kind of spearing his car across the turn 2 apex to try to force a hit. I think race control probably looked at that counter move from Connor. Understandably, he was frustrated. He felt like he got shoved off. But when it's an eye for an eye kind of dynamic, I think race control tends to sit back and say, hey, You guys are forcing each other off the racetrack. It's on you at this point. It wasn't one incident in isolation.
Ultimately, the incident that took Connor out of the race, you could argue in isolation, racing incident. He was the passing car. There is more responsibility on the passing car to pull off a clean move, as we see Malukas there getting around Kiffin Simpson.
Here with Christian Rasmussen after a 12th place finish. Rather eventful race for you. Just walk us through your day.
Yeah, you could say that. We got off the start very well. I think we were up to 13th, 12th or something right at the start. So we were cooking pretty good there, but was really struggling with pace on the blecks, and especially in like left-hand corners, I was struggling a lot. So like turn 6, people would get runs on me, so I was just kind of in full defend mode. Then I had a little incident with Connor where I kind of touched him in 7. Trying to roll my outside, and I just kind of understeered into him, which is that's on me, but which kind of took us both off the track. And then it was just kind of on recovery mode from there. We had a little bit of a slow pit stop, which I think put me like P24 after that caution. And then we just kind of fought our way back. Kind of found the pace on the red tire, which was positive. But obviously need to work on the blacks. But yeah, overall good day, good recovery. Could have been a lot worse.
I do got to talk about that incident with Connor. He was really, really angry. Said that there's some drivers in the sport that are a joke, intentionally running people over 150 miles an hour, paraphrasing. Also subtweeted you on X. Any conversation with him about that and just the incident in general?
Sure, I'm open to have a conversation with him. I do think that when you try to roll the outside in a corner like turn 10, that's kind of what to be expected. I mean, I was on the inside. I had the inside line, so I wasn't going to pull out of it. So I wouldn't have done anything differently. I'm sorry to see Connor in the wall like that. That was a hard hit. I'm glad he's okay. But at the end of the day, I think that's kind of what you can expect in an incident like that. I haven't watched it on video, so maybe I'll change my mind, but that's kind of at least how I see it now.
And a yellow has come out.
Oh, and that's Will Power. Will Power is off and on track, and wouldn't you know it, the lot for Alex Palou shows no sign of disappearing. Made it in just in time before that yellow flag. David Malukas now will lose a lap to the leader as Palou gets out ahead of him.
You can see that Will Power's right sides show evidence of getting into the wall. I don't know if there would be suspension damage there, but Palou and Malukas should be sitting pretty here. We'll have to see how everything blends out.
Hectic sequence, guys. That was crazy timing for a caution. And Power, you can see the frustration there. Let's just see. Trying to go around Kiffin Simpson, gets up, a little high, hits those marbles. You see the second he gets into those marbles, pretty hard into the wall in turn 2.
Not that bad, but I wonder why his car came to a stop.
Oh, he's lost power. Yeah, he's lost drive, not able to get into pit lane.
So potentially had a gearbox issue.
No,
there.
he did it again. He tried to go into turn 3.
Broke the toe link probably on the initial contact.
Here with Will Power. Unfortunate day, but I'm sure. I'm sure you've had a chance to look back at what happened. What did happen to kind of send you into the wall there?
It's we came out on new tires, and I went into 2 on the first lap, and Kiffin, I went to go low, and he drove me all the way down. And then I thought, well, I'll go high this time, next time around. Then he drove me all the way up and got into marbles and touched the wall. And then it broke the toe link. I went in the next corner and just no rear, unfortunately. Yeah.
It sounded like you guys were going to try to go back out there, but it just wasn't possible.
There was nothing to gain. Didn't want to get in people's way and all that. So, yeah, man, disappointing.
And are you going to have you talked to Kiffin yet? Will you talk to him?
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I mean, I think Joseph's going to be pretty mad at him just looking at us. Hey, just looking at what he did to Joseph there. Similar thing. I don't know whether he's told to do that by his team to help Palou, but it's pretty rough. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
It's like Newgarden might make a run here on Kiffin Simpson. Not close enough as these two are side by side.
Newgarden trying to clear the lap car of Kiffin Simpson. He wants desperately to catch up to his teammate McLaughlin. This is the phase of the race on a short oval. Traditionally, you see Newgarden really step it into another gear, able to get these passes done on the lap cars.
And it was on the fresh tyres after the last stops when Newgarden looked so impressive in those early laps, being able to take that bite out of them while they were fresh and new. Palou leads by almost 2 seconds from McLaughlin, who is still struggling to navigate the traffic. Newgarden is third. After the pit stop, so Ward is fourth, Rossi is fifth, then Lundgaard, Rasmussen, Dixon, Herman, Daly. That's your 10. Oh, and that is Rosenqvist and Lundgaard.
Hope that didn't cut down the rear tire, the left rear there of Lundgaard.
Here comes Newgarden, but Simpson will not let him through.
God, it's so frustrating from inside the cockpit, having to work that hard to get around lap cars. Kiffin Simpson, though he's a lap down, he does not have the command blue flag. You have to just get it done on the racetrack.
Playing the team game beautifully. This was Joseph Newgarden, big splash of rain onto our camera, onto his visor, and onto his tires.
And Joseph Newgarden, guys, on the front straightaway comes up next to Kiffin Simpson, gives him a little swerve and a signal saying, hey, bud,
you're on the list.
You are, or off the list. Depends on which list.
Off the Christmas card list, shall we say. Yeah, that's a ticking off from a two-time champion. But Kiffin doing, I don't think he was defending out of order. Has the right to defend his lap.